We're going to go over the cross collar choke from the guard now. This is one of my all-time favorite attacks. One of my almost go-to attacks from the guard. So easy to do once you understand how to apply it and how to get your grips. It's almost impossible for the guy to defend, and if he does defend it, if he does defend the cross collar choke, he's really going to sacrifice something else big time. So let's talk about a little bit about how I get my grips for the cross collar choke and the hand position. Okay, so I have him here in the guard. Normally what happens is he's got his grips keeping me down, right? He doesn't want me to be able to sit up. So first thing I always do is from here, once he gets his grips, it's very easy for me just to get a grip inside the lapel. I don't need a tight grip. I don't need to get a good grip yet, right? I'm just going to grab his lapel. Now, what happens is this hand is stopping me from getting a deep grip. So don't let me get the grip that I want. Yeah, so I wouldn't put it by my neck because you're giving me your arm too much. Usually the guy keeps his hand on my chest. Yes, right here, you're going to get arm locked easy. So from here, he's not letting me sit up to get my grip. So what do? Okay, all I'm going to do is from here, impossible for him to stop me from getting this grip. I just need any grip here. And now what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to turn my shoulders. Okay, so even though he's got his hand on my chest, don't let me sit up. Don't let me sit up. Turn my shoulders. Deflects his arm. So now my hand is all the way behind his neck. Okay, now he's in deep trouble. Now he's in a lot of trouble. Okay, so let's do that again. Don't let me get this grip. Okay, you can do whatever you want. Don't let me get this grip. So I don't even have my deep grip yet. He's keeping me back, right? Now he's in trouble. Now he's in deep trouble. This is already almost too deep. This is already bad for him. Because all I have to do is touch the second collar and he's done, okay? So once I have this grip, now what I'm going to do is this. I want to break his posture. So I'm going to throw myself back, and at the same time I'm going to pull in with my arms and my legs. When I throw myself back, this is what I do. My head goes to this side. Okay? Now my second hand is just going to slap the back of his neck. Okay? So what happens here is this. The grip is not what's important here. What's important is the connection of my arm. I want to make sure that my arm is touching his neck. Once my arm is touching his neck, now I will end up grabbing anything that's available. Whatever cloth is here, I end up grabbing. Okay? Now what I do is this elbow goes down and my other elbow goes here and the choke is done. Okay? So this is the cross collar choke with the overhand grip. Okay? And that's how I normally set up. That's the easiest grip to get. But we'll go over the cross collar choke and we're going to give you guys some details of how to finish with each of the separate grips. So just show you guys for the normal cross collar choke, what I do with the underhand grip is my hands going like this and I'm going to get my grips. Very important that I have my arms connected to his neck. So once I get my grips, okay, what you guys will see is this. There's some space here, okay? So I'm not going to change my grip, but right now if I try to do anything with my wrist, there's a lot of slack. So the first thing I want to do is, without even changing my grip, my hands are not even going to move. What I do is I just push into his neck, okay? So from here, all I'm doing is pushing into his neck, and that connection on his neck, now he feels some pressure. So all I did was this. I didn't make my grip deeper. What I did was I closed up this hole. You see? That V is actually the space where his neck is. So what I do is I do this. I push my wrist together, okay? Now, once I have that, all I'm going to do is I'm going to curl my wrists, and it's these bones of my wrist that will go into his neck. So with this collar choke, once I have my grip, once I have my second grip, I don't even need to pull in with my arms. Once I connect my wrist to his neck, once I start to curl my wrist, just from this, he's already going to tap. So that's me doing the choke without any arm strength at all. Now, of course, pulling in with my arms is going to help, and if I pull in with my arms and my legs, that's even more efficient. That's even better, okay? Because I never just want to use my arms by themselves. Anytime I do anything, I want to incorporate my whole body into it. I always want to use the arms and legs together. But what we want to work on right now is showing you guys the perfect technique to do the cross collar choke where it takes no strength and all it is tiny little wrist movements. So even with his head all the way up, so I have my grips, even with his head all the way up, once I connect my arms, now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn my wrist. Okay? So you see, my arms are completely straight. What I did is I put my hands here together and I just curl my wrist. It didn't take any strength from me at all. And you feel how quick that is? It's a huge difference. And you can see, look how crappy my grip is. You see how much space there is in here? Right? So if I do all this move, now look. All I did was connect my arms to his neck. And now I start to put pressure and he's already tapping. So the grip is not as important as the connection of the arms to the neck, so that when I start to move my wrists, it immediately has an effect on my opponent. So as soon as the wrists move a little bit, he's already choking. Okay? So that's the choke with the double unders, with the grips inside. How I finish the choke with the overhand grip is this. This hand is going to do the same thing. This wrist is always curling in to cut off this side. Now, when I go for these chokes from here, if I have this angle, it's much easier to sneak this hand underneath. If I have this angle, it's much easier to get this overhand grip, okay? So, like I said, the most important thing for this choke is the connection of the arm to the neck, okay? So, most people try to get a grip, and then there's all this space, and so what happens is all this movement is lost. I already moved so much and used so much strength, and nothing happened to him. He's still fine, he's still comfortable, right? So I already wasted a ton of strength, a lot of energy, no results. What I want to do is I want to slap. So I'm just going to touch my arm to his neck, and wherever my hand lands, that's where I'm going to get my grip, okay? So now I have my grip. What I want to do is I'm going to connect this flat part of my arm to his neck, get my grip. So my thumb will be down. When I slap, I'm going to have the blade of my arm, or this very flat part, on his neck. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my elbow down. Okay? When I turn my elbow down, what happens is my forearm goes from very, very narrow to wide. And it's almost like a water lever, right? One of those water levers where you kind of it closes off the pipes here and then now it opens up, right? So it's like a pipe where you have, now it allows the flow and then you cut it off and it doesn't. So same thing. All I'm doing from here is once I have this grip, I'm just going to turn my elbow down. Okay? And so that's without me even pulling. That's without my arms pulling. So of course, if I want extra, I can always use the arms and the legs. But the most important thing is, boom. This grip is almost impossible to stop me from getting in. And then it will either be my arm underneath, or if I switch, slap, get my grip. And now look, elbow goes down. Okay? So that's the cross collar choke from the guard. Very, very powerful choke, very, very difficult to stop. And the two different grips, one hand under, one hand over. So my hand's either like this, or you see what I do? Turn my elbow, and when my elbow goes down, it's the blade that cuts into the neck that cuts off the second carotid, all right? And like I said, of course, when you do it, the most efficient way to do it is not just with the arms, right? If I start, well, the wrists, if you do it properly, the wrist should be enough. But of course, when you do it, you want to use your arms and legs together. So I'm going to use my wrists, I'm going to pull in with my arms, and I'm going to pull in with my legs, okay? So that's the cross collar choke, one of my favorites.